In the small, quiet village of Vladimirovac, nestled within the Banat region of what was then Austria-Hungary, lived a woman named Anna di Pistoia. To the locals, though, she was simply known as Baba Anujka. Her other titles, spoken in hushed tones, were the Angel Maker and the Witch of Vladimirovac. She presented herself as a healer, an old woman with a deep knowledge of herbs and folk remedies. People from all over the region would seek her out, traveling for days just to get her advice. They came with all sorts of problems, from minor illnesses to matters of the heart, believing she had the wisdom to help them. She was a fixture in the community, a respected elder who seemed to possess secrets passed down through generations. Baba Anujka's journey began in an unusual way. Born in 1838, she came from a wealthy family but received a private education, which was honestly rare for women at the time. After a difficult early life, including a failed romance and a much older abusive husband, she turned inward. She set up a laboratory in a wing of her house after her husband's death. It was here that she began to cultivate her reputation as a folk healer. She claimed she could help people with their troubles, offering potions and powders for, well, just about everything. Her clients saw her as a powerful figure, someone who could bend the world to their will with just a few drops from a small bottle. She was both a chemist and a confidant, listening to their darkest secrets and offering a simple final solution. Her public image was that of a benign, if slightly eccentric, herbalist. Villagers would see her walking through the fields, collecting plants and muttering to herself. She was a paradox, a well-educated woman practicing what many considered to be old-world magic. Her clients were mostly women, wives trapped in unhappy and often violent marriages. They came to Baba Anujka desperate for a way out, seeking a miracle to end their suffering. She would listen patiently, her expression calm and understanding, making them feel seen and heard. She built a relationship of trust with these women, positioning herself not just as a seller of remedies, but as a savior who understood their plight better than anyone else. This carefully crafted persona allowed her to operate for decades without suspicion. In a time before modern medicine was widely accessible, figures like Baba Anujka filled a crucial role in rural communities. She was the local chemist, therapist, and spiritual advisor, all rolled into one. Her neighbors saw her as a wise woman who had dedicated her life to the ancient arts of healing. They couldn't have imagined the dark truth hidden behind her gentle facade and her promises of a better life. The respect she commanded was the perfect cover for the sinister business she was conducting from her small, unassuming home in the heart of the village. She was, for all intents and purposes, hiding in plain sight. Baba Anujka's most famous product was something she called magic water. Sometimes she referred to it as a love potion. She sold it to women who were struggling in their marriages, promising that it would make their husbands kinder, more loving, or simply solve their problem. The instructions were always very specific and delivered with a grave tone. She would ask her client, "How heavy is this problem?" This question was not about emotional weight. It was a chillingly practical inquiry to determine the necessary dosage. Based on the man's physical size and health, she would calculate the precise amount of poison needed to ensure a fatal outcome. The magic water was, in reality, a lethal concoction. Its primary ingredients were arsenic, often mixed with hard-to-detect plant toxins like datura. Baba Anujka was a skilled amateur chemist, able to create a poison that was both potent and difficult to trace in a post-mortem examination of that era. She would tell her clients to give the potion to their husbands, assuring them that after 8 days their problems would vanish forever. The 8-day timeline was crucial. It was the typical amount of time it took for the carefully measured dose of arsenic to kill a man, making the death appear as if it resulted from a sudden, unexplained illness rather than foul play. Her clients were often desperate. They were women facing domestic abuse, infidelity, or simply the crushing weight of an unhappy life with no legal way out. Baba Anujka offered them a permanent solution, a final escape hatch from their misery. She wasn't just selling poison, she was selling a promise of freedom. For a significant fee, which ranged from 2,000 to 10,000 contemporary Yugoslav dinars, these women could buy their way out of a lifetime of suffering. Baba Anujka's business thrived on the quiet desperation that festered behind the closed doors of many village homes, turning her into a grim, underground figure of liberation for some. For nearly half a century, Baba Anujka's operation went undetected. Husbands would fall ill and die, and the community would mourn another unfortunate soul lost to sickness. Doctors, if they were called at all, would often diagnose the cause of death as a common ailment. No one connected the dots. No one suspected the kindly old woman who sold herbal teas and remedies. The love potion was her greatest deception, a masterful piece of branding that masked its true deadly purpose. It was a solution sold in a bottle, a quiet and discreet way to commit murder that left the perpetrator with clean hands and a clear conscience, or so they were led to believe. The story of Baba Anujka's downfall began not with her magic water, but with a different transaction. In 1928, one of her clients, a woman named Stana Momirov, used one of Anujka's poisons to murder her husband. However, Momirov had purchased the poison through an intermediary, Lyubina Milankov, who acted as Anujka's agent. When another client of Milankov's used the poison to kill a wealthy relative, the case finally drew the attention of the authorities. The investigation led them straight back to Lyubina Milankov, who, under questioning, pointed her finger directly at the source of the deadly potions, the 90-year-old healer from Vladimirovac, Baba Anujka. The trial that followed was a media sensation across the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. The courtroom was captivated by the sight of this frail, elderly woman accused of being a serial poisoner. Baba Anujka denied everything. During the trial, she was defiant and uncooperative, often playing the part of a confused old woman who couldn't comprehend the proceedings. She claimed she had never even heard of arsenic. However, when the prosecution brought forth witnesses, the wives who had purchased her potions, the truth began to emerge. They testified about the magic water and the specific chilling instructions she had given them about how to administer it. The prosecution faced a challenge. Many of the alleged murders had happened years or even decades earlier. Bodies were exhumed and tests were conducted to find traces of arsenic. The evidence was compelling enough to paint a picture of a long-running and highly profitable murder-for-hire business. Estimates of her victim count vary wildly, with some sources claiming she was responsible for at least 50 deaths, while others suggest the number could be as high as 150. Her motive appeared to be purely financial. She had turned human misery into a lucrative enterprise, preying on the desperation of women who saw no other way out. In the end, the jury found Baba Anujka guilty. At the age of 90, she was sentenced to 15 years in prison for her role as an accomplice in 2 of the murders. It was a stunning verdict for a woman of her advanced age. She served 8 of those years in a prison in Požarevac. Due to her old age and frail health, she was eventually released. She returned to her home in Vladimirovac, a place now forever associated with her dark legacy. The witch of Vladimirovac had finally been brought to justice, but the full extent of her crimes would never be truly known, buried with the many victims she had helped send to their graves. Baba Anujka lived out the remainder of her days in relative obscurity, passing away in 1938 at the incredible age of 100. She died in her own home, the same house where she had once mixed her lethal potions and consulted with her desperate clients. Her death marked the end of a life that was as long as it was infamous, yet the story of the Banat witch did not die with her. Instead, it grew into a powerful local legend, a chilling folk tale told to warn of the darkness that can hide behind a seemingly innocent face. She became a permanent fixture in the region's folklore, a testament to the fact that monsters are not always what they seem. The fascination with Baba Anujka's story endures to this day. She represents a chilling intersection of folk magic, chemistry, and true crime. Her narrative is compelling because it explores the depths of human desperation and the extreme lengths people will go to escape their circumstances. Was she a cold-blooded killer motivated by greed, or did she see herself as a twisted kind of avenger for abused women? This moral ambiguity is what keeps her story alive. She was both a product of her time, a period with limited rights for women, and a uniquely sinister figure who exploited that very reality for personal gain. Her story also serves as a powerful reminder of the duality of human nature. On the surface, Baba Anujka was a respected community healer, a wise woman offering comfort and remedies. Beneath that veneer, however, was a calculating and methodical poisoner who profited from death. This contrast is what makes her so frightening. She wasn't an obvious villain, she was a trusted neighbor. Her life forces us to question our own judgments and consider what secrets may lie hidden in the people we think we know. She demonstrates how easily a person can wear a mask, presenting one face to the world while hiding a much darker one. Ultimately, Baba Anujka's legacy is that of a complex and terrifying figure who blurred the lines between healer and killer, savior and predator. Her life story contains all the elements of a great Gothic tale: a mysterious old woman, secret potions, and a shocking body count revealed after decades of deception. In an age where true crime stories captivate global audiences, the tale of the world's oldest serial killer continues to intrigue and horrify in equal measure. She remains a dark legend, a whisper in the history of a small Serbian village, and a chilling example of the evil that can bloom in the most unexpected of places.